We'll just wait for a few more minutes. Maybe we'll start at 8:05. We'll just wait for a few more to join. And if any of you have joined, any of you are watching us, then please be active on the comment section and say hi to us so that we will know, we will be encouraged to see that you have joined. Thank you, Arvind ji. Thank you, Neha. Thank you, Deepasri ji. Welcome, welcome. We are happy to have you. What do you think, Gurpreet? Without audience, we are nothing. We need audience,
For sure.
right?
Yeah.
We'll start in just 1 minute. Good to know that our audience know each other. Deepasri ji was already there in my last podcast, and Neha is new. Neha and Arvind. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Abhijit. Good to see you here. It's time and we will start. Now, when the February month comes in a year, we all know love is in the air. But is love truly in the hearts of the couple related to each other? That question always comes in my mind. Does love bloom only on Valentine's Day? Isn't it something we should express through our actions each day, daily, on a day to day basis? If love is in the air, why do we still hear the sounds of heartbreaks? One crucial reason is communication or the lack of it between couples. Hello and welcome to another episode of the I Listen live LinkedIn podcast. I am Chiradeep Patra, an author and life coach, your host for tonight. I am thrilled to have a very special guest within us, my friend Gurpreet Kaur Chawla, an author with 3 books to her credit. One of them is a bestseller. She is a communication coach and globally certified soft skills trainer. So, before we dive into our discussion, let me give a brief introduction to iListen for those who are familiar and for those who are new. iListen was founded by me in March 2023. It's not an organization but a transformative safe space dedicated to fostering active listening, character building, and strengthening relationships. And I believe these three components of iListen are interdependent and interlinked with each other. Tonight, Gurpreet and I will be discussing on a crucial topic, as I named it, communication beyond Valentine's Day. We all know we are approaching Valentine's Day, that is February 14th. People celebrate the day or the month with all the goodies more than the relationships they were in or the person they related to. So, hi there, Gurpreet. Welcome to I Listen live podcast and thank you for accepting my invitation. How are you doing? And please tell me a little about yourself before I start shooting my questions for you to answer.
Well, you've already told everyone, I'm Gurpreet Kaur Chawla, and I am a communication coach and a globally certified soft skills trainer. So, my second book is Communication for Couples Made Easy. So, on that lines, I'm here to talk about what beyond Valentine's Day communication can be like.
Wonderful, wonderful. And how are you?
I'm
Are you
good.
excited?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I'm excited too. And it's a wonderful day today. It was very pleasant here. Uh, and yes, I'm excited uh, for this podcast for a long time. I wanted to talk about this, and this is the perfect time. And as love is in the air, now we need to test what kind of love is in the air. So, um, so as the guest, my guest is ready to answer my questions. I have a lots of doubt regarding this. I don't have doubts, but I want to create that what do you call that interest in the minds of my audience, so that we can discuss something meaningful about love or communication in relationship. So communication is often seen as the foundation of any strong relationship. We all know that. However, many couples speak but fail to truly connect, whether it's inside a marriage boundary or those who are looking for getting hitched or getting connected in a bond called marriage. So my first question is, how would you define the language of love, and why is it essential for couples to understand it?
Hmm. So, the language of love is a special way we connect with our partner. It refers to how partners express and receive love in a way that resonates with them emotionally. It ensures that love and affection are communicated effectively, thus reducing misunderstandings. So, love language must include these top three things. Number one, verbal affirmations. Just say it, convey appreciation, admiration, and affection to strengthen the bond between partners.
Okay.
Number two, act of kindness. Just like it can be just like running an errand without being asked, leaving a note on the bathroom mirror to wish good luck, or sometimes making breakfast in bed. Number three can be gestures of love, from gentle touch to a loving embrace that can foster closeness and strengthen connection. Now imagine this: James wraps his arms around Sarah from behind while she's cooking dinner. Sarah turns around and smiles. What's this is for? James says. Just wanted to remind you how much I love you. All these are essential as it helps both partners feel valued in their relationship. It builds a strong emotional connection and helps them to stand the test of time.
Yeah. So, so these love languages has to be there, between the partners, the marriage partners, to uh, keep the flame burning. It may not be, may not be about physical attraction or intimacy, but it's more about emotional connect. That's what you mean,
Yeah.
or the whole thing, whole
Whole
companionship. Yeah,
whole companionship, yes.
yeah, that's wonderful, wonderful. These three, and you said James and Sarah. Who are they?
So they are the characters of my book,
Oh wow.
around which the whole communication of couples revolves. So James is the man here, and the Sarah is her women. Yeah.
Wow, wow. So we will be discussing about Sarah and James throughout this whole podcast. Probably, I don't know if the author brings them on, then we will able to see picturize both of them in this beautiful podcast. So so even if we share, or we don't take granted for, I mean, we don't take each other granted, and we still able to speak out our love language, express our love language to each other. Still, differences in upbringing, communication styles, or even career priorities can create barriers between partners. Everybody will agree to that. We have differences, yet understanding each other better can bridge these gaps, I feel. So, my question to you, my second question: what are some key steps couples can take to build bridges of understanding, especially when they come from different backgrounds or have contrasting personalities?
Mm. Well, it's all about having effective communication that helps connect hearts and minds. Number one has to be active listening.
Okay.
Comprehend the thoughts and emotions behind words. Create a safe space where your partner feels understood and valued. For example, when Sarah says, I had a really tough day at work today, James put down, puts down whatever he's doing and makes an eye contact with her and says, I am here with you. Would you like to talk about what happened? Number two is genuine engagement. Be fully present in the moment. Show sincere interest in your partner's experience. Empathize and offer support when required. Instead of assuming, ask questions and seek to understand your partner's perspective. And number three, try transcending barriers. It requires patience, empathy, and a willingness to work through differences together. If you come from different backgrounds, acknowledge differences in upbringing, values, and experiences, and find ways to celebrate them rather than allowing them to create division. Be willing to adjust certain expectations while maintaining core values.
So, how can, like, I have another question connecting to this. Sometimes these theories that we learn, like those who are listening to us and listening to you, and they try to apply these theories in their own life. I mean, in practical life, and it's not very easy to just reflect through their actions. So how one couple, like, they will each other couple, they will try to emulate these theories into action, more genuinely, and it should not look like mechanical, like हाँ मुझे ये करना है करके अच्छा गुरप्रीत जी ने मुझे बोला था so I have to do like this, something like that. How it should reflect proactively or more genuinely, like what is your suggestion regarding that?
So now that you're aware of these are the things we could do, the
Mm,
next time when you have conversation with your partner, you will be more careful about listening actively
mm,
and showing genuine engagement. Earlier, maybe you were busy with the phone while your partner wanted to share anything with you, but now, as you're aware of these techniques, you would try to listen to them carefully and pay your full attention. And with time, it will become your practice and strengthen your relationship.
that's fair enough. Yeah, so we have to deliberate few actions. I mean, to begin with, we have to deliberately do certain things, and probably after some time, it will be a habit, a good habit that we will form in our relationship. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. So moving on, like when we uh, when we see couples expressing their love languages, talking to each other with their code languages and love languages, and they are very understanding. Yet, conflict is something which always pops up like a villain. No relationship is immune to conflict. We all know that. Even if the most understanding couple will have some other difference of opinion or conflicts between, and many couples struggle when disagreements arise. Sometimes I also, in my personal life, I don't know about you, but in my personal life also, I feel overwhelmed when there are conflicts in the family. But conflict, if handled well, I understand, can strengthen a relationship instead of breaking it, if we can handle it properly. So, my question is, what are some effective strategies couples can adopt to navigate conflicts while strengthening their bond? It's very important when conflict arises, we need to know how to handle it.
Mm.
So, what is your suggestion for the couples or married couples? And also, I am telling this again and again. This is mostly for married couples, but also for those who are um, brewing their relationship or bond into. I mean, the final destination is marriage. Yeah, please go on. What are the strategies?
So here I would like to give four strategies that can help. First and foremost, and most important, is to stay calm and respectful whenever there is a heated argument or a conflict. Avoid yelling or blaming. Focus on discussing the issue and not attacking the person. Then you can use I statements.
Okay.
Instead of saying, "You never listen to me," say, "I feel unheard sometimes when I share something important." Next is to take a break when needed. If emotions run high, pause the conversation and return to it when both partners feel ready to talk constructively. And
Okay.
lastly, find a common ground. Instead of winning an argument, focus on resolving the problem together.
Okay. Okay. But sometimes it's very difficult. Uh, I mean, theory actually becomes theory when real conflicts arise.
Hmm.
So I don't know uh, how to like manage the first point you said. Um, what is the first point you said before the I statement?
It
The
was stay calm and respectful.
stay calm. Yeah. So staying calm in a heated moment, in a heated conversation, is absolutely difficult.
Hmm.
So how to manage that?
So it also, you have to build practice for that. As in my case, I
Mm.
refrain from yelling at someone or blaming at someone because I've been practicing it for years,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah,
has to
that
be.
is that is one phrase which I liked. You're practicing for years. That is important. That is important. Yes.
So you
What
have to
else?
make deliberate efforts to
Yeah, yeah,
incorporate in your thought process, in your behavior.
yeah.
Yeah.
So working on yourself, practicing certain things deliberately for years together, not 1 or 2 days. Because in my coaching session also, the clients ask me, why भैया ये होता क्यों नहीं है? अच्छा आप कितने बार किए हो? मैंने 3-4 बार किया है. So 3-4 बार से कुछ नहीं होता है. It has to be practiced for years. That's a good phrase uh, which I think many young people should learn. Uh, Even, I mean, we are living in a time where technology has chat GPT and other things. It has um literally that intolerance. It has created that intolerance within us. Now it gives everything instantly. We get, this generation, they get everything instantly, so they have forgotten how to wait on things, how to wait on a relationship, how to wait on a certain person that they always look up to. So they need to understand that they need to practice for a long time, for a really long time, to uh, come or have a positive outcome. Okay, thank you so much. This is wonderful. Moving on. It's often said that actions speak louder than words. In relationship, non-verbal cues can express emotions that words cannot. Sometimes we don't speak any words, yet we hurt so many people with our actions, with our non-verbal cues. So how can couples become more aware of and use non-verbal cues to foster connection? I
Hmm.
think this is important. You being the image coach, communication coach, uh, you are the right person to deal this particular section. I would love to hear what you're going to say.
So nonverbal communication, it involves subtle signals that convey wealth of information
Mm,
about our emotions,
mm,
attitudes, and
yes.
intentions.
Yeah, wonderful.
They often speak volumes where we fall short. Now imagine Sarah is sitting with slumped shoulders and
Mm,
avoids eye contact
mm,
while recounting a difficult day.
okay.
James notices her body language and
Mm,
reaches out to offer a supportive hand
wow.
and says, "It seems like you had a rough day. I'm here for you."
Mm,
Sarah nods gratefully, feeling
mm,
understood and supported.
mm, true.
Here, few nonverbal cues can be worked upon, such
Mm,
as number one, pay attention to the body language,
mm,
use open postures,
mm,
eye contact should be maintained all the time,
mm,
and gentle touches convey attentiveness and warmth.
mm,
Second, it's not just about the body language. Be mindful of tone and facial expressions.
mm, mm,
Sometimes how something is said matters more than the words themselves. Third, use physical affection, which is must.
mm,
Small gestures like holding hands or
mm,
a reassuring touch on the shoulder can
mm.
reinforce emotional closeness.
Correct, correct.
And lastly, observe and adapt. If a
Mm,
pattern seems withdrawn or upset,
mm,
recognize your partner's nonverbal signals and
mm,
offer comfort rather than forcing a verbal response.
mm.
So these are the strategies or nonverbal cues that can be taken care of.
Mm. And sometimes I have observed in my relationship and in my family members. I mean, relationship of my family, someone in the family. So I have observed that some couples that try to change. अरे ये ऐसा पोस्चर नहीं चलेगा, चेंज करो ना, ये ऐसा, आई मीन दे literally try to change the pattern of these non-verbal cues of their partner, which is, I mean, ऐसा बैठने से कुछ नहीं होगा, आप बात करो. So what do you think? What do you say about it? I know it's not a good thing, but
Hmm. So it's not about correcting others, it's about
mm,
working on yourself first.
mm,
So when you seem to be empathetic by your body language, the other
mm,
person also try to incorporate those things. So you
mm,
have to show by example, by being it yourself first.
mm. So that is what we don't do. We always try to change others.
Yeah.
We don't apply it on ourselves first. So that is one thing you said. That's a good takeaway. We need to work on ourselves. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, trust forms the backbone of any lasting relationship. You know, once broken, it can be hard to repair, which makes proactive trust building crucial. So, how can couples actively cultivate and maintain trust and transparency in their relationships? These days we have all our smartphones and we protect it from each other with passwords and many words. So sometimes I don't know. Sometimes people, I don't know. I don't like it somehow. What is your? I mean, you have. I am asking two questions here.
Mhm.
One is what is happening today, and what is normally. I just ask this question: how can couples actively cultivate and maintain trust and transparency in their relationship?
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. Please go on.
Often it is seen that it is happening.
Mm,
However, to have a healthy relationship, it's really important that one must be honest and open. Even difficult conversations should be approached with honesty rather than avoidance. Then you can follow through on promises. Keep commitments, no matter how small. It helps you to build reliability and always create a safe space for vulnerability. Make
mm,
each other feel secure in sharing their fears, dreams, and
mm.
concerns, that too without judgment.
Wow. Wow.
And address issues promptly.
Mm.
Avoid letting resentment build up by
Yes. Yes.
discussing concerns before they escalate. So it's
Mm,
important to take action uh, during right time.
mm. Yeah, yeah. I have seen people delay confrontation.
Yeah.
अभी नहीं करेंगे, बाद में देखेंगे. But that you rightly said, we should not do that. I mean, before it escalates to some other level. So it is always better to confront and finish it then and there. Yeah, and thank you so much, Niti. Niti says, I believe the best way to create trust is transparent and open communication. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and I would also like all the audience, all of you who are listening to us, uh, please do give your comments, your advices, your suggestions, and your inputs while we discuss, as Niti did. Thank you so much, Niti. Yes, I do believe open communication is very important. That's what Gurpreet also suggested. Yes, we have to immediately. Uh, I mean, it has I mean, when an issue becomes stale or basi jab ho jata hai na, it stings, I feel. And when we try to handle that, जो जो खराब ऑलरेडी बदबू दे रहा है उसको फिर जब निकालते हैं, it affects more. So it is always better to handle things fresh, open communication and transparency. May, as Gurpreet and Neeti both we suggested, we definitely need to handle it. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, couples often fall into repetitive patterns of communication. It is also there. I really don't like repetition. एक बार बोल दिया मतलब एक बार बोल दिया, which can become stale. Sometimes thinking outside the box can rekindle the spark. So, could you share one or two creative communication strategies, that have proven to be transformative for couples? I think this would be interesting. I think, sorry, yeah, Arvind is also talking about something. Yes, communication about 4 R's: respect, read, reach, and resolve. Thank you so much. Yes, Gurpreet.
Yeah, so two strategies from my book that I would like to share are: number one, you can create a relationship adventure map
What is
together.
that?
So, yeah, so couples can visually chart their journey together. They can highlight meaningful
Mm-hmm.
moments, the challenges that they overcame
Mm-hmm.
together, and their future
Mm-hmm.
dreams. They can, make an adventure map using these things, and it will help them to reflect on their growth and shared
Okay.
goals. So it will align their thought
Mm.
process. The next can be storytelling
Okay.
sessions. So each partner each partner shares a cherished memory of their
Mm-hmm.
relationship. It reinforces appreciation and positive emotions. You can use prompts such as talking about first meeting or memorable travel adventures shared
Mm.
together, or anything from the childhood you want to share,
Mm.
uh, mostly about the things that you did together in the past. So you can do some storytelling sessions together. So I and my husband do it a lot, and it helps to
So you
strengthen our
don't
bond.
you haven't charted out that adventure map or something you talked about. Have you?
Yeah, so I haven't done it like using chart papers or colors, but yes, on a computer we
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sometimes draw it.
These days we don't use chat papers. We are more.
Yeah,
I mean, digitally we design it. So you have done it. Yeah.
yeah. So it's beautiful. It strengthens the relationship. Yeah, every time we do it.
So maybe sometimes, some other time, I will ask you to help the audience to explain how to draw it exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's good to know. These are some innovative ways which we know. So your book talks about only two strategies or any other tools you have mentioned.
Yeah, there are overall
Okay,
five
you can
strategies.
speak out, not a
So,
problem. Because these are all interesting things which all the couples of today's world they should know it. So if you can just
hmm.
help us understand, read them out for us, it will be good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
sure,
give
why
me a
not?
minute.
As good. Yeah,
So
please.
I'll um, so yeah, so I would like to
Yeah.
mention two more. So the third strat. Third that you can use is you can create a relationship vision board. It's just similar to
Yeah.
adventure map. So but however, adventure map talks about whatever you have done in the past, but the vision board has more to do with the
Mm-hmm.
future. So your future, your shared dreams and aspirations, you can draw and create a vision
Mm-hmm.
board together. Where do you see both of you some years from now? Where
Mm.
have you reached? So you can create a
Mm.
vision board for yourself. And the next is the next can be, just having mindful communication walks. So go out in the nature and just have a walk with each other, just getting away from the devices and just spending time together, and talk about whatever you feel like, the things you've gone through together. If you cannot draw adventure maps, or if you cannot draw vision boards, you can at least go out in the
This is
nature,
probably the
connect with.
easiest tool that you're explaining, because I don't think people are doing it. I mean, they have such busy schedules, they don't even give time to their children. So drawing a a vision board seems very. I mean, I don't know. It they should, but how many of them will do it? That's a question. So the fourth point which you are talking about is kind of most people can do. I mean, most couple can actually do. But
Yeah. So by taking a walk, you can become healthy also, and you can share
so if you can
the
explain that,
thoughts.
you said that the second tool, um, the storytelling one, you and your husband have done it. So
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
so how much time you need to you actually spend on that, on a daily basis or weekly basis? How do you do that? Can you give a time frame or the frequency, just for the idea, so that the people who are here in our audience, in so they will also be encouraged to try it out in their own marriage.
Hmm. So it doesn't have to be any designated time, but make sure that once in a day you are discussing something like this. And so, yeah, in the morning hours, so we usually share one story or the other with each other, keeping the phones aside, and we talk to each other, and that helps strengthening the
Yeah,
relationship.
it's wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing uh, your journey with your husband. Miscommunication is another thing which actually is a bigger barrier, like conflicts.
Hmm.
It is something that leads friction. Sometimes it's not what we say, but how we say it, that creates barriers. So, what are some common communication barriers couples face, and how can they overcome these obstacles? This is also very important. If we talk about all good things, that doesn't help, that won't help us. So, we need to be aware of the negative aspects in a marriage relationship, while we communicate with each other, while couple communicate with each other. So how couples can help themselves.
So some communication barriers that couples face can be: number one, defensiveness. So it arises as a protective mechanism in response to feeling attacked or
Yeah.
criticized. And it manifests as a reluctance to accept responsibility or acknowledge one's role in a conflict, leading to cycle of blame and resentment. So instead of reacting, pause and listen with an open
Hmm.
heart. The second barrier can be stonewalling. which means shutting down emotionally to avoid conflict or intense emotions. It leaves the other partner feeling dismissed, invalidated, and frustrated, hindering productive communication. So you can create a safe space where both partners feel comfortable expressing their feelings without
Okay,
fear of
okay.
judgment. The next barrier can be criticism. So don't criticize. Replace blame with constructive feedback for focusing on solutions rather than faults. And the fourth barrier can to effective communication for couples can be assumptions and mind reading. So we often assume. So communicate directly rather than expecting a partner to just know what you need. Sarcasm and mockery are a strict no.
So how do you differentiate like humorous bantering with each other and sarcasm? How do you differentiate? Can you give some examples? Like often couple
So
pull each other's legs. So I don't think you are saying no to them, because that also brings happiness in the marriage. What do you think? How do you differentiate?
it may seem to be bringing happiness initially, but when you think about it in the long run, it only, it only harms your relationship in the long run. So try and avoid pulling legs, not with a couple, even generally, it should not be a habit of using sarcasm or, you know, just pulling someone's
Okay.
leg. So I personally believe that it should not be done.
Okay.
Humorous is
Yeah.
other
How do you
thing,
differentiate it?
and
That's what.
it can be straightforward also. If humorous, you have to be humorous. It doesn't have to be
Okay.
leg pulling. You can you can use humor in a different uh different situation to talk about other things, not between
Okay.
you.
Okay. I mean, it should not be personal attack or something like that. Even if it's you wanted to joke, so it has to be
Yeah.
something non-living or something outside your boundary. Okay. So
Yeah.
you mean to say the couples should discuss about other couples or instead of them?
Whatever it is, but not because I believe then things would start to change slowly and steadily, and then it could lead to unhealthy
Yeah. Yeah.
relationship in the future if it is. So boundaries have to be conveyed. You have to understand that what your partner likes, how much it has to go further, and then you have to stop. So I personally don't like leg pulling and using when someone talks
Okay.
in sarcasm. So I have set
Okay.
strict
Okay.
boundaries.
Okay.
And he understands that no, I don't have to use sarcasm or pull
So
legs.
you said something which I liked. Though in my family relationship, not about. I'm not talking about my wife. I'm talking about my cousins and we are fun loving, and we keep pulling each other's legs. So I don't know. Maybe I may differ with you, but one thing I really liked what you said is you said that one thing will lead to other. So the first step will definitely lead to the second step. And if we don't set, I mean, the other person, if uh, she or he doesn't set a boundary, it becomes very difficult. I mean, it doesn't convey that message to the other person, and he keeps jumping to next steps and then goes. I mean, level up जैसा होता ना गेम में, we keep
Yeah.
I mean promoted to the levels, a next level. So probably the level of sarcasm probably will grow, and ultimately there will be conflicts, and there will be jhagda, and there will be quarrel, and all goody goody things will go. Yeah, you are right. I really like that particular thing. For that, I will definitely, that is one takeaway for me. Thank you so much, Arvindji. Uh, Now you made me cautious, Arvindji. Have you ever, Gurpreet, have you ever said something in the heat of the moment and regretted it later? Have you? You just yes
Yeah,
and no will
it
do.
happens.
I'm not going getting into that. So triggers can hijack productive communication if not managed well. That's why I asked that question to you. So my question is, how can couples identify and manage their triggers to communicate more effectively? I mean, everybody can't go for therapy before communicating, definitely. But at least,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, as I just mentioned in the last
yeah,
answer also, that I've set boundaries for myself. So communicate your triggers to your
yeah.
partner, you know. Share what upsets you
Hmm.
and why, so your partner can be
Yeah.
mindful and supportive. So before uh, conveying triggers to your partner, you should also be aware of your triggers. So the first step should be to do a self reflection.
Wonderful.
Each partner should identify personal triggers, like what triggers them feeling ignored, criticized, or controlled, and understand their roots. Ask yourself why certain topics or interactions trigger strong reactions within you. Tune into your inner experience, notice the thoughts that arise, reflect on emotions that surface while having difficult conversations. So, know yourself first. And then pause before reacting. That always, like, since the first question I've been repeating. So, when triggered, take a breath and choose a calm response rather than a defensive reaction.
Wonderful.
Remember that you have the power to choose how you respond to challenging situations
Wonderful.
and develop coping strategies. When you experience a sign of emotional trigger, try practicing mindfulness, try deep breathing, or stepping away briefly, which can help regulate emotional responses. And most importantly, approach conversations with empathy and compassion, both for yourself and for your partner. Recognize that intense emotions are a natural part of being human and strive to create a safe space for vulnerability and expression.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So moving on, some people say too little, while others say too much without clarity. You know, clear, assertive communication is key to healthy relationships. What advice do you have for couples looking to communicate with a greater clarity and assertiveness? Some people struggle. Some people struggle with this. I have seen it. So, what are your suggestions? What are your tips for them?
Yeah, so earlier when I said set boundaries for yourself, so I meant have assertive
Yeah,
communication. So vague and passive communication only leads to
yeah,
confusion, frustration, and tensions in relationship. Assertiveness is crucial for fostering healthy relationship and personal fulfillment as well. It allows individuals to express their needs, set boundaries, and advocate themselves in a respectful and constructive manner. It promotes mutual respect and understanding. So, to communicate clearly and assertively, first of all, be direct and specific. So, instead of saying you never help around the house, try, could you please do the dishes after dinner? Express thoughts and needs confidently while respecting your partner's feelings. Eliminate passive aggressiveness. sarcasm, or indirect remarks with clear, honest
mm,
dialogue. And lastly, practice active
mm.
confirmation. Repeat back what you hear to ensure
Yes.
understanding. For example, so you would like me to help more with the household work? Do you have specific
Mm,
task in the mind?
mm.
Ask this.
Now, somewhere I read that getting married is easy, managing it is very difficult. So we think that it's, and we spend so much, we invest so much on our wedding. We don't invest on our marriage, as in the journey. You know, so as you are speaking, as you're giving this advice, and you also said that I have done this. People, I mean, anybody needs to have that guts that I have done this. That's why I could speak it. I could write this one in my book. And these are all the points you have explained are very difficult. Theoretically it sounds very good, and we people nod heads, they agree with us, but when it comes to practical life, they all miss out of these points in their life. एंड जैसा चलता है चलने देते हैं, एंड थिंग्स आर नॉट ग्रेट. वी जस्ट गो ऑन एज इफ वी आर इन अ ट्रेन, एंड हम लोग सब बैठे हैं, हम लोग को जाना ही है जबरदस्ती, हम लोग जाते रहते हैं. So we need to understand this, because this flowers, these Cadbury's, these, what do you call, these teddy bears, they don't help. Now, these are all good things. Okay, these are, once or twice it's fine, but they don't help. They don't help. And so my last question for all those who are uh, feeling that love in the air, so be aware. The last question, many couples reach a breaking point because they feel misunderstood or disconnected. There's a famous, I mean, it's a very famous word. What is that? I will, if I remember, I will tell. Yet even in challenging times, reconnection is possible through honest dialogue. That is why we are here talking about communication in a marriage. So my last question for you, Gurpreet, is what role does effective communication play in preventing relationships from reaching a breaking point? Okay. And how can couples reignite their connection when facing challenges?
So, effective communication is the foundation of emotional
Yes.
intimacy, trust, and
Hmm.
problem solving. When communication weakens, misunderstandings, resentment, and emotional distance grow, leading to potential relationship breakdowns. So, to reignite their connections, uh, couples can do this definitely. So, this is not very difficult things I'm going to talk about. So when facing challenges, they can, not facing challenges, but always also to avoid having challenges, they can reintroduce quality time. So set aside uninterrupted time to talk and bond. So like with me and my husband, it's morning time that before he goes to office, we have 1 hour for each other where we talk about the
Wonderful.
things. Engage in deep conversations. Go beyond daily logistics. We are always busy about talking about daily logistics. You discuss dreams, fears, and
Yeah.
hopes with your partner. Express appreciation regularly. That seems really small. That, oh, why to appreciate? But it's really really important. Small affirmations of love and gratitude rebuild warmth and trust. And lastly, seek support if needed, whether through books, therapy, or relationship
Mm.
workshops. Investing Growth together
Mm.
strengthens the bond. So, uh, Chiradeep also conducts relationship workshops so we can take help and seek support if needed. So, by making communication a priority, couples can create a resilient and loving partnership that stands the test
Correct.
of time.
Wonderful. 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 Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have come to the end of our podcast. It's time for you to ask questions. Don't ask difficult questions for to my guest. Make her life easy and ask easy questions to her if you have any. If you don't ask, if you stay quiet, it has two meanings. Either you have understood it. It has three meanings actually. You don't want to ask. That's one. You have understood everything. You haven't understood anything. Which one should I confirm about you? I have a question. Yes, Manas. Go on. Manas have a question. Please ask. As Manas types the question, I will just look for the book which Gurpreet has written. Manas, are you typing the question? Just show a thumb or something so that we will wait. If you all are watching this, then this is the book which my friend, our guest, has written. Communication for Couples Made Easy, 9 easy strategies to build trust, deeper bonds, and lasting relationship with your partner through communication. Divorce should always be the last resort. Divine in me respects divine in you. Yes, Manas has asked the question. I have seen this quite often when I do not like a person. I do not like to engage with them. Is it necessary to speak to them about it, or silent treatment would be fine? Probably it's not about a couple. It's about anybody, right, Manas? You can just show a thumbs up. Yeah, Gurpreet, please go on answer it.
Yeah, it depends. Like, uh, if it is necessary to engage with them, uh, either on a professional level or in your social life, it is necessary to engage with them. So you can limit that kind of engagement. You can have clear boundaries and Also try to look the things from other person's
Hmm.
perspective. So you really have to decide that you want to engage or not, depending on the situation. So remaining silent would not work sometimes. You have to speak up. You have to engage if your profession requires it or your social setting
Correct.
requires it. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question,
I feel
Manas.
it's also important. Um, I mean, how important is that person to you? That is also, uh, you should ask that question to yourself as well. If
Yeah.
if he or she is a family member, then you cannot really be silent about it. You have to deal with it. Now
Yeah.
what Gurpreet had said earlier, it has to start from us. I mean, instead of thinking about others, we have to do it. Yeah, Manas says, okay, thank you so much. If others have no other questions, uh, we will close here. Thank you so much. As we have come to the end of this podcast, thank you so much, all the audience, for patiently listening to us, listening to Gurpreet and what she had to impart tonight about relationship, about keeping open communication, and about the communication as a whole between a couple, married couple, or couple who are getting ready to get married. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, Gurpreet, for your time. You honored me by accepting my invitation, and you joined the podcast to discuss this important topic. Because it has always, I look around and I feel burdened. I see there are broken relationships. I see that they build a relationship, they start a relationship during, I mean, I see love is in the air, but soon I find that they are broken, they are separated, they are, I mean, they have parted their ways. So that is why I had that burden, and I was looking for someone who will. And I have read her book. It's a wonderful book. I would suggest. I will, after the podcast, I will, in the comment section, I will write I will mention her book and the link to her book, so that you can all go for it and look for it and buy it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gurpreet, and good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you, Dipashri ji. Uh, Thank you for appreciating. Good night, everyone. Good night, Gurpreet.
Good night.